Those Lost 45s keep on rolling, although this one was a pretty big hit. Brenda Lee coming on strong at number 32 on WJRD's Top 11 Plus 50 survey, October 31st, 1966. This was Brenda Lee's 50th charted single, 50th Hot 100 hit. Not necessarily top 40, but just songs that hit the Hot 100 for Brenda Lee. And coming on strong with the number 11 on Billboard's Hot 100. This came at the latter part of her illustrious singing career. She signed with Decca Records in 1956. She was very young. Started singing professionally when she was about 6 or 7 years old. And some of her big hits, 1960 and the early 60s, I'm Sorry, Sweet Nothings, full number one, Break It To Me Gently, which was redone later by Juice Newton in the early 80s. Coming On Strong by Brenda Lee. Got that nice orchestration at the beginning of the record. It was written by a country artist, country music artist, a songwriter. His name was Little David Wilkins. And he never had a big hit of his own, but some of the records that he wrote became big hits for somebody else. Such was the case of a song that Lil David Wilkins he came out with in 1974 called "Georgia Keeps Pulling on My Ring." His version only went to number 50 on the country charts. Then Conway Twitty had a version out in 1977. Conway Twitty's version of "Georgia Keeps Pulling on My Ring" was produced by Owen Bradley, who produced Brenda Patsy Cline's hits back in the early 60s, late 50s, early 60s, and Conway Twitty's version of that record went to number 3. Sometimes, when you're an artist, whether you're a rock and roll artist or country artist, an R&B artist, you write a song that's not a hit for you, but it becomes a hit for somebody else. Of course, the check still comes in the mail just the same, those royalty checks. That's where you get the money off the songwriting anyway. Uh, Thinking of another sample of that, Mark James. Probably never heard of Mark James. Say, who the hell is Mark James? How do we move from Brenda Lee to Mark James? Well, let me explain. Mark James, he wrote Suspicious Minds. He did the original version of Suspicious Minds. But his version was not a hit. But it became a massive hit when Elvis got a hold of it. You're talking about the King. Well, such is the case with, well, gosh, dog, talking about Conway Twitty, and then we're supposed to be talking about Brenda Lee. But the bottom line is, Little David Wilkins, he wrote this song. I believe it was the first hit that he wrote. Coming On Strong by Brenda Lee. At number 32 on WJRD's Top 11 Plus. God, dog, I love this. They just don't make these playlists like this anymore. It's all just top 20, top 15, top 20. Of course, then again, songs were a lot shorter back then too. All right, Brenda Lee at number 32 on WJRD's Top 50 survey back in 1966.